In sporty news today, Shaun White, the snowboarding phenomenon. Anton Ferdinand gets death threats. An over-enthusiastic Mexican referee. The Lingerie Football League soon in Europe. And Jérémy Ménez and Mamadou Sakho promote Call of Duty. There's no such thing as perfection in sport, except for Shaun White. The American snowboarder ended the X Games with a real feat. He got the perfect score of 100 during his last halfpipe run. A first in this competition, which is considered the Olympic Games of extreme sports. A perfect run and a 16th gold medal at the X Games, all that at just 25.
I mean, it's just like one of those dreams come true. I mean, I had always joked about maybe possibly one day getting a 100, you know, a perfect score. And tonight's the night. I didn't even know if I was going to compete, and I think all that built-up adrenaline from the comp and everything just pushed me to the edge, and I did something I've never done before.
Shaun White's exploit is all the more impressive that he wasn't exactly in top form and was suffering from a sore ankle. It's no wonder he's nicknamed the Flying Tomato. He is, of course, the undisputed king of freestyle sports, but his notoriety goes beyond that. He's been named the new ambassador of American Express after Tiger Woods and Robert De Niro, after all. It was one high-pressure football match. The fourth round of the Cup between the Queen's Park Rangers and Chelsea was marked by John Terry and Anton Ferdinand's reunion. The Chelsea player is charged with racially abusing Anton Ferdinand during a Premier League game. The federation decided to scrap pre-match niceties, meaning the men didn't need to shake hands. That didn't stop the match from taking place in an unpleasant atmosphere. Queen's Park Rangers supporters had even prepared anti-Terry chants. But even worse happened before the match. Anton Ferdinand received death threats. A Chelsea supporter sent him a package containing a bullet and a death threat. Terrifying. Marco Antonio Rodriguez is the most famous referee in Mexican football, a whimsical referee who takes liberties with the rulebook. In April 2011, during a game between Cruz Azul and Chivas, he had, for example, taken 2 spray paint cans out of his pocket to draw 2 new lines onto the pitch, to indicate where he wanted to see the penalty shot kicked and where he wanted the wall to stand. He recently made news yet again during a match between Tigres and Santos, where he pulled out 2 yellow cards from his pocket. Referees are only supposed to have 1 yellow and 1 red card on them at one time. This latest whim annoyed local authorities, prompting them to suspend the Mexican referee for 5 matches for giving his own spin on the rules. There is such a thing as being too enthusiastic. Sport is a business, especially in the United States. Not particularly open to women's sports, American viewers have nonetheless fallen in love with the Lingerie Football League for the last 3 seasons. Gorgeous athletes play American football in sexy underwear. Add mud fights and you've got the perfect recipe for sports fans. The championship has existed since 2009 and has around a dozen teams with evocative names like Los Angeles Temptation and Baltimore Charm. Playoffs started on January the 29th. 7 teams will face off to reach the women's version of the Super Bowl. The Lingerie Football League is a professional sport which just keeps gaining popularity. Its Facebook page already has 240,000 fans and hopes to meet with the same success abroad. A Canadian league is in the pipeline for next season. In Europe, glamorous American football can head to Barcelona, Frankfurt, and Manchester. 2 Paris Saint-Germain players, Jérémy Ménez and Mamadou Sakho, have been chosen to be the ambassadors of the first downloadable content of best-selling video game Call of Duty. Call of Duty offers 2 new multiplayer cards which allow you to play with friends. We're here to represent Call of Duty. It's a game we really enjoy. We like playing with friends, having a laugh. It makes us think of other things. It's a different context and it helps us relax. The 2 Paris Saint-Germain players faced off and apparently it's not Mamadou Sakho's strong point. I really think he's better than me at that game because he's a real fan. He often plays at home with his buddies.